Hey everyone, how's it going? I just finished reading Thanks a Lot, Mr. Kibblewhite, which is an autobiography written by Roger Daltrey, who is the legendary frontman of the legendary rock band The Who. I had a lot of fun reading this and I learned a bunch about Roger Daltrey, so I'm going to share 5 awesome fun facts with all of you today. So, fun fact number 1 is that Roger Daltrey was actually fired from The Who at one point. It's a crazy story that happened in 1965. So at this point, the other 3 members of the band were pretty extreme drug addicts, especially the drummer, Keith Moon, and they would be under the influence of tons of different kinds of drugs while they were performing, and of course that affected their performance. And Roger Daltrey he had just had enough of them interfering with the quality of the Who's live performances. So at the end of one of their performances in 1965, he stormed off the stage and found Keith Moon's drug stash and flushed it all down the toilet. And then, of course, Keith Moon came off the stage, shortly afterwards and was looking for the drugs. And when Roger Daltrey told him what he did, that he flushed it down the toilet, Keith Moon flipped out and grabbed a tambourine and attacked Roger Daltrey. And of course, it's really sharp and dangerous. And Roger fought back and it became like a whole fight. And then the next day, Roger was informed by the management that he would no longer be a member of The Who, which is crazy, especially since Keith Moon's the one who started the fight. But it was, fortunately for history, a very, short-lived firing. Apparently The Who, had a few shows without Roger Daltrey, and they all went terribly, and they were even booed off the stage. So within, a short amount of time, Roger Daltrey was able to, sit back down with the band, and they were able to hammer out an agreement, and Roger Daltrey was back in The Who before no time. Fun fact number 2 is that Roger Daltrey actually got pneumonia while creating the album cover for The Who's Sell Out. So in the image here, you can see the part of the album cover that features Roger Daltrey, and he's sitting in a giant vat of baked beans. And Roger claims that this vat of beans was just absolutely freezing. And of course, he had to stay in it for a while for them to be able to get the exact right shot of him. And they tried to fix the fact that it was freezing by using a heater, and they placed it behind the vat, behind where he was sitting. But of course, it just, heated up that small part of it. The vast majority of the vat was still freezing. And shortly afterwards, Roger Daltrey came down with pneumonia. And on top of that, the heater actually burned his rear end, too. So, absolutely not ideal. But, fortunately, Roger Daltrey says he's very proud of how the cover came out, and he says it's one of his favorite Who albums. Fun fact number 3 is that Roger Daltrey's hair is naturally curly, but he actually used to use a product to make it straight. And you can see the huge difference in these 2 images here. And the image on the left is his straight look that he used during the early years of The Who. And he claims that he did this because he thought that it would be a more appealing look, and he thought it fit more with the times. It would make him look more appealing on stage and make the band look more appealing. But after meeting his now wife, Heather, talking to her, she thought that the natural curly look looked better. So from that moment on till now, he's left it as it is and gone with the natural curly look. Fun fact number 4 is that Roger Daltrey says he's a great friend of both Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin and of Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam. So of course Roger Daltrey has gotten to know countless other rock musicians over the years, but he claims that he particularly got to know both Robert Plant and Eddie Vedder really well and became great friends with them. Fun fact number 5 is that Roger Daltrey's favorite Who song of all time is Behind Blue Eyes. Behind Blue Eyes is a fantastic song, in my opinion, that came out in 1971 on The Who's next album. And you can see the album cover right here on screen. Anyways, that's 5 fun facts about Roger Daltrey, but of course there's so many other interesting things about him, so I highly recommend reading Thanks a Lot, Mr. Kibblewhite. It was a lot of fun reading it, and it was also fun getting to listen to him narrate it. So you can actually go on Audible and listen to the audiobook, and I did it simultaneously while reading. So I was reading the book and listening to Audible at the same time, and it's so cool because Roger Daltrey actually reads it himself. So you can actually listen to Roger Daltrey himself reading it on Audible. So I highly recommend that, and I just highly recommend, delving into this book because it's so interesting learning so much about both his life as a rock musician, but also his personal life. And he truly is someone who cares deeply about his friends and family. So in addition to being a legendary rock artist, he's also an incredible person too. Thank you all so much for watching. Really appreciate your time. You all have a good day.